Jungle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle, and I'm not joined by my two normal co-hosts. They are Michael Hall and Reed. They are away, but I am joined by none other than Andy Burrows of the DC Tweet Team podcast. Andy, thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
You're more than welcome, my friend. What's a time to be a Washington football fan?
And this is the first ever episode, by the way, of the post-game just analysis kind of episode, going over the first win ever by the Washington football team. They start the Rivera era 1-0 with a commanding win over the Philadelphia Eagles, 27-17. 8 sacks on the day, Andy. 8! Did you think that was possible?
Unbelievable. Our defense were unreal, my friend. You know, we were all a bit worried in the first half, but like I kept saying, you know, I love the fact that the Twitter game day is back. Just believe in Ron. You know, if this was last season, we would have crumbled, but we're not that team anymore. And what a performance. Ryan Kerrigan, oh my God.
Yeah, and he got the sack record for the Washington football team record for overall, has got it within the first half with his 2 sacks. 8 sacks on the day for the entire defense. 2 picks by Fabian Moreau and Jimmy Moreland. The second half, the tale of 2 halves, to say the least. Dwayne Haskins finishes the day 17 of 13, 17 of 31, 178 yards and a touchdown. What was your takeaway of Dwayne Haskins' performance in this first win of the season?
Started off very nervous, but built into the game. That's the thing that pleased me the most, was how he built into the game. If this was last season when Jay Gruden just threw him in, I would have been really worried. But like we've said before, me and you, and many times, he's got a coach that trusts him now. So it was good to see that they obviously got into him at halftime. They spoke to him at halftime. They let him see the game out, and he trusted in the process. Like Ron Rivera said, trust in the process, and he built into the game, and you could just see him with every play growing with confidence. You know, every run he made, every pass he made. Yes, he was a bit errant in the first half, but I think that was purely down to nerves. But once he got into the game, really good. And you know, when you've got a defense like ours, it makes his job a lot easier.
Yeah, and that being said, look, like I said, it's the tale of 2 halves. The Washington football team went in the halftime down 17-7. It looked like the Eagles were doing pretty well, but the Washington football team were able to come away with a touchdown before halftime to Logan Thomas. And that was huge to be able to do that. That way they could close the gap a little bit. Now, this is where I thought the game was won. It was the third quarter. I was able to take notes through the entire game of every drive and every play. First drive ended in a punt. Second drive was the interception to, I believe it was Fabian Moreau. If not, it was Jimmy Moreland. And then the third drive ended in the missed field goal from the 53-yard field goal after the sack by Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis, and Chase Young, where they ganged up on Carson Wentz to push him back enough to make that a long field goal, and they ended up missing it. After that was a turnover on downs, thankfully to a sack by John Bostic. That third quarter, that defensive performance single-handedly won them this game. We had Ben Standig on Thursday, Andy, and the one thing I asked him was, did you think that this Washington defense could put the team in the offensive position to win this football game? And that's exactly what they did in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. They literally put, I was tweeting throughout the first half that, we need to get our defense off the field. But like you said, that third quarter, I 100% agree with you, changed the entire game. We were from all angles. Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, they were absolutely unbelievable. I can't speak highly enough of them. Like we've been saying for weeks now, months even, we said this defense is going to win us more games than we're going to lose. And boy, did they ever. And that third quarter turned the entire game, and that just gave us the momentum we needed to go into the fourth quarter. And it was good to see a Washington team get in the position. I didn't feel, once we got into the lead last year, and you'll know this better than anyone, you would have been like, oh boy, this game still isn't over yet. But today, I was like, do you know what? The way our defense was playing, I couldn't see the Eagles doing anything in that second half. Anything. We were crushing them.
Yeah, and the Washington football team did benefit from the plethora of injuries that happened to the Eagles either pregame or during the game. They were down to their last offensive lineman playing tackle for them, the Australian football player that converted, and this is his first ever game. But look, this is what good teams do. They take advantage of the opportunity that's put in front of them, and that's what the Washington football team did. How many times have we seen this in the past where the team gets injuries all over the board, and then it looks like they didn't miss a beat? They look like they got even better with those injuries. That didn't happen today. 8 sacks on the day, 2 interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries by Ryan Kerrigan getting the record. Dwayne Haskins taking care of the football, but the fact is, this front was able to get to Carson Wentz enough to where he was just throwing the ball up for sale. I mean, how many incompletions did he have in this game? I'm incredibly impressed by Chase Young, his ability to get after the football. He was around the forced fumbles multiple times. He caused the first forced fumble on the sack with Carson Wentz. Hi, Andy. I can't gloat enough. This was such a huge win by this football team, but it was. It doesn't pop off the screen at you what they did offensively. It's just they went with the way the game let them. They didn't force anything. They still were able to get the ball downfield and to be able to win this football game. I'm incredibly impressed.
Patience was the thing that impressed me. We were all a bit. Let's not lie now. We were all a bit worried in the first quarter, and in parts of the second quarter, we were all thinking, God, the defense needs to get off the field. But what's impressed me most about this team was patience. We wouldn't have done this last season. We would have gone in at halftime. Look at the Eagles' first game last season. It was role reversal. We went in, we were well ahead, and we come out and we were trash in the second half. This time under Ron Rivera, that's never ever going to happen. He's a proper NFL coach. You know what I mean? He's been there and done it. We've now got a man that knows what he's doing, and the main thing is that the players believe in. They went in at halftime, and they probably come out for the second half having the words of Ron Rivera, not Jay Gruden, in their ears, and they knew what they had to do. And for the first time in a long time, come to the fourth quarter, I thought we're going to see this out. We are going to. I kept saying it throughout the whole game. We're going to win. We are going to win this game, and we did. And my friend, it was unbelievable. So good.
I remember thinking in the first half, it almost like the defense in particular, it was like they were kind of gelling. It was like kind of taking them a little bit to get out of that cocoon, you could say, the practice cocoon, where they were only playing at 75%. And then all of a sudden you saw this flip of a switch, and they were playing with their hair on fire, and they were able to get after Carson Wentz early and often. They were in his face all game long. And a lot of credit to this football team. They only allowed 57 rushing yards to the Philadelphia Eagles overall. Pre-game, I said I did not believe that they were going to allow Carson Wentz to get around 250 passing yards. They only allowed 208. A lot of credit to this defense. They were able to suffocate this offense in the second half. 27 unanswered points. This is the complete opposite of what happened last year, is it not, Andy?
Yeah, it's like I said, mate. It's definitely the complete opposite. And yeah, you are right. It took them a while to build into the game. They've been on the practice field for how long now? No preseason games. But I 100% agree with you. You could see them just gaining in confidence. And like you said earlier, Carson Wentz, it wasn't like he was throwing the ball away. He was rushed so quickly. He was throwing it anywhere. He didn't know where he was throwing it, and we had some picks, and it was that is all credit to the team and the defense. For just they were quick. It's all good having a good defense, but their quickness impressed me off the line. Kerrigan, Chase Young. As soon as that ball was snapped, it looks like they were on Carson Wentz, and he didn't know it hit him.
No, he didn't. That being said, at the end of the first half, Dwayne Haskins' numbers did not look good. They were 7 of 16 for 77 yards and a touchdown. And the one lone touchdown was to Logan Thomas. Look, they didn't look good, but they built on that last touchdown. And in that drive, we kind of saw that the up-tempo defense, they didn't even need play action. This team was just lining up and throwing the football quick outs, and they were able to move down the field and score points. And I made a note of that. I said, let's keep that going. And you saw that in the second half. They were able to gel that together. Peyton Barber, a lot of credit to him, 17 carries for 29 yards. I know he didn't really do anything through the yards, but the fact is he had 2 really meaningful touchdowns. Huge and pivotal to the whole entire game. A lot of credit to this offensive line for keeping Dwayne Haskins upright, for not turning over the football. I know penalties were an issue, but not on the offensive line. Got to give credit there.
Yeah, 100% credit. And they kept grinding. That is the thing that, it really impressed me. The way they moved the ball and the way, that score right before halftime was big. If we had gone in at halftime with no score on the board, that was such a big play. And you don't get me wrong, it was an easy throw to make. He couldn't miss it, but he had to make it. And the first half he had, that would have given Haskins confidence, because he would have gone into the locker room at half time now thinking, right, we got one score on the board, and that would have helped Ron Rivera as well, because he was like, he wouldn't want to have gone in with no points on the board, made his job a little bit harder. But you could see straight away the confidence flowing through Haskins, and like I say, it only got better and better, and it's so good to see from a Washington team. Like you said, we wouldn't have seen this last season. You know, no matter who was under a QB, we wouldn't have seen it. And, that's all full credit to all the coaching staff. They must have given these guys the belief to do that, because last season's team would not have come out in the second half and done that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that being said, Andy, I have to ask you, if there was a team player that you thought would be MVP of today, who would it be?
Ryan Kerrigan and Chase Young, between them. I've been critical of Chase Young last season, but maybe that's the role that the team gave him last year. And the coach, again, comes back to coaching. It's obviously been good during the limited time they've had on the track. Ryan Kerrigan was like the Ryan Kerrigan of old.
Yeah.
It's like, and we and you said this on one of your podcasts maybe a couple of months ago, when we first drafted Chase Young. He's going to be the kick up the arse that Ryan Kerrigan needs.
Yeah,
he's all good us saying that Chase Young's looking to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's probably thinking, hang on a minute, I'm not done yet. And wow, did he prove that to not just us as fans, but the entire league. So for me, Ryan Kerrigan, MVP, unbelievable.
I have to agree with you. Not only him getting the record just for sentimental reasons, but the fact is the game that he had. Let's talk about two tackles, 2 sacks. He had a fumble recovery late in that game. That was a weird kind of a tuck kind of fumble. I'm not sure if we could give that up to Chase Young, but it looked like Chase Young had a forced fumble. A lot of credit to you as well. You have to be able to give it to the entire defense, because everyone played a part. Everyone did something and did well, but if you were to pick someone off paper, I would have to imagine it's Ryan Kerrigan. And I was really impressed, because we were asked, I was asked by you in your podcast when I was joined. You said, where do you think Ryan Kerrigan will fit this season? I thought he was going to be a third down rusher, using kind of a weird package. I was really impressed with how Jack Del Rio was able to bring him in the game plan and make him a force early and often. Like I said, he got that record in the first half. He got the sack record in the first half. There's 2 sacks. So he was really used early and often. A lot of credit to Jack Del Rio for making the adjustment at the end of the first half. And the second half, they dominated.
Absolutely, mate. It's honestly, that's one of the most dominating. That was our first home win since, let's say, 2016, was it? They said on the opening day of the season. Absolutely dominated, and that's only going to give us confidence. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know if it helped. There was no fans in the stadium. They just got on with it. You know what I mean? We know FedEx is usually taken over by Philly fans. I think that helped as well. You could see everyone was just still calm. Yeah. There was no, obviously, the crowd getting on their back. It's like in FedEx, if we start losing, the crowd got on their back, but it was very calm. The belief was just streaming through the team. You could see that from even in the offense coming out for the second half. But yeah, Ryan Kerrigan, Chase Young, exactly what we expected from him. He was like, that's obviously the first time I've really seen him. You guys have obviously seen him before in the college game, but it's the first time I've seen him live. Wow, what a player. And if we can keep that up and get our offense clicking more for the rest of the games going forward, and then Ron Rivera's he's going to get that. I think we've said it loads of times. I've said it. We'll make a wild card playoffs. I've said it. You've said it. I think I even said you tweeted out a month ago. You wouldn't put it past this football team making the Super Bowl. Yeah. No. We've only won one game, but us as Washington fans, we believe in this team, and I think what are people going to say after this? I can't wait to see what poll we're going to try and be at the bottom of tomorrow morning. What the NFL Network or what are these guys going to say about the Washington football team now?
Yeah, and look, we thought that this was going to be this offense. We didn't think it was going to be a juggernaut by any stretch, but they are a grinding type of offense. They were able to get it done. Antonio Gibson, the rookie, he was able to have 9 carries for 36 yards. We already talked about Peyton Barber with 17 carries, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin in pivotal spots, 6 receptions, 61 yards. Steven Sims had that really big goal line catch that got the Washington football team within the 3 yards to be able to get that touchdown of Peyton Barber, I believe, or Logan Thomas. So 3 receptions for 50 yards for him. And then Logan Thomas, pre-game, I picked him to have about 4 receptions. I thought that I wanted him to attack the middle of the field and use him in the red zone. That's what they did. 4 receptions for 37 yards and a touchdown. It was really good to see him get some sort of cohesion with Dwayne Haskins in their first game.
Yeah, and what was good to see was everyone contributed. Yeah, Terry
Yeah.
McLaurin didn't have one of his better games, but when we needed him, he was there, and every single person contributed. Steve Sims, like you say, amazing, and that's what Ron Rivera is building with this team. And this is only the first game.
Yeah.
It's only going to get, but the more time Ron Rivera and his coaching staff have with this team, that's only going to get better and better and better. Obviously, no preseason. We've done it on the fly. We've done it in a game. That's the most impressive thing for me.
Yeah. I can't gloat enough about this team. They really impressed me today. I was very pissed off at the end of I guess you could say around the mid-second quarter. I was doom and gloom about this team. I was like, dude, we are inept. We cannot get anything going. But that's the theme with this team. As soon as I start to talk crap, they seem to find a way to get it done. And I really noticed at the end of that second half, that clicked. They found what worked for them, and they were able to get the ball down the field and get this game close and get them in striking different distance, and the defense took over. I can't say it enough. I mean, you can't. It's hard to pick somebody off the sheet and say this is the MVP. It was just a team win.
Team win, and I think that's what Ron Rivera wants to bring to this team.
Yeah.
He knows we're not a team. We're not a team of superstars. We're not. But if he can get every single person doing their own individual bit and it clicks, then you get results like today. And like you say, and like you said, the hurry up offense, brilliant. We never saw that last season.
Yeah.
Never
under Jay Gruden. That was the one thing against Jay, is he never had that hurry up offense. Everything was just always very slow.
Yeah, they would take a timeout when you think, no, this is where when you're down on the goal line, don't be taking time out. Look at today, I think I looked down to do something. I looked up and we had a play. It was like that's the kind of football you want to see. And on the road, you're going to need that kind of football as well. And, it's good to see our team doing that. And like you say, long may it continue, my friend.
Yes, sir. Ron Rivera and Rivera we trust, and Jack Del Rio we trust. I think that this team lived up to the expectations of the fans. And those were high expectations, I will say. A lot of this fan base was thinking this was a good team. And they didn't play like in the first half, but they came together, they got it done. And look, you can talk about the injuries to the Philadelphia Eagles all you want. I really do not care. This team found a way to win. Everyone picked them to be the last in the league, and they were able to find a way to beat a very good team in Philadelphia. It's well coached. I know that they had some very important injuries, but the fact is the Washington football team was the better team today, and they proved that. I'm glad that we were able to get the first win of the season, Andy.
First win, my friend, unbelievable. Mate, I'm so happy. It's quite late here, but I'm having a few beers. Forget work tomorrow morning. This doesn't happen too often on the opening day of the season, my friend. We got to enjoy it, and hopefully it's given us the momentum now. Hopefully going into next weekend's game now, we're going to need to. We probably can't defend how we probably can't have an offensive game next week like we did in the first half today.
Right.
We'll need to raise that, but hey. Things to work on. Our defense, unbelievable. Good times ahead, buddy. Good times ahead. I'm like you. I'm super excited. But like we're preaching to the converted here. Me and you said this team will do well.
Yeah.
We said do not count this team out, and here we are.
Absolutely, and lots of credit to Dwayne Haskins. He did not turn over the football today. We have to. A lot of people are going to look at his stat line and say it's not very impressive, but the fact is, he's the winning quarterback of today. He kept take care of the football, and he put this team in a position to win. We can't ask anything more. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you to everyone. Andy, I appreciate you for stopping by, sir, for the first ever post-game pod where we got to talk about the first W for the Washington football team of the 2020 season.
Unbelievable. Washington football. Woo!
Oh, no, you stole it from me. All right, everybody, I'm Kyle. You can check us out on Tuesday. We'll be back with a fresh new episode. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Washington football.